Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Stock Market Review with Luwep Trading. Coach Lord is here, and again, guys, it's another night. It is time to get down to the charts. So, interesting day today. What do I always leave you guys with every single night? It is get in, get green, and get out. So that's exactly how I executed today. I told you guys I had Tesla shorts and I had uh, S&P 500, so the SPY shorts. The market opened, they were down. I put in my stop losses and whatever. I keep me put trailing stop losses. They ran down as they try to rise back up. Guess what happened? Boom, took me out, took my profit, and gone. You cannot be too greedy when it comes to this environment. You have to know this is a highly unlikely environment we live in. This thing is being driven literally by headlines. I mean, you could literally say is being driven by the elites. Literally, what I say by that is it's not like oh they buying in secret and things like that. I'm literally talking about they produce headlines. Whether it's someone from J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon may say something, or a Fed governor may say something, or some reputable person on Wall Street might say something, and before you know it, the market is whipsawing, either wanting up or wanting down. All kind of stuff is happening. If you are here, guys, once again, I want to welcome you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. James Empire Path, you guys are always the first people to come here, and I really appreciate whenever you guys shows up. You always engage with the content. You like, you comment, you ask questions. I really appreciate that. These are the kind of things that really gives me the energy to keep going. I would go regardless, but obviously it doesn't hurt, right? That's the kind of things that really pumps you up. All right, guys. Well, I have to say that I don't want to forget. Just a reminder. Nothing I say here is any suggestions for you guys to either buy, hold, or sell. This is purely for educational purposes. This is me translating and reviewing the market with you guys live and letting you guys know how I'm executing. If you are going to trade, make sure you do your own due diligence. If you do not know what you're doing, make sure you to contact a financial advisor. I am not your financial advisor. All right. So that being said, over here, what we do, we focus on the charts, no BS, no fluff. We let the price action, we let the charts let us know where we are going. Although we are still aware of what's going on in the market, right? Because we are in uncharted territory right now because the stock market has been completely hijacked. I don't like it. Somebody else may say that's not a problem. I don't like it. I really don't like when it's like just one person, one tweet, one post can send the market tanking, or they can send it completely way up. And there are reports that there are some nefarious activities going on with people either shorting or buying right before certain announcements are made. I hope they get to the bottom of these things, and I hope those people are prosecuted because literally we are disadvantaged, right? We don't have this information. The market should be fair. I don't think it will ever really be fair, but at least give us the illusion. I'll take the illusion of fairness in the market. Okay, one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about before we actually get in the chart, I wanted to mention that to you guys because as of right now, this is crazy. All the economic numbers we are getting, guys, are horrible. We're losing a ton of jobs. Inflation is it did not spike, but it did not go down. And when you listen to those guys with CNBC, they telling you, we don't trust the numbers. Wall Street do not trust the numbers. Why? All the revisions we have of those numbers are the difference is so crazy. Like for the month of February, we reported we added 92,000 jobs at the time. When the revision came out, like an independent situation, and the numbers are way behind. It came out we actually lost 130,000 jobs. Right, that's a big swing. This is not like a revision of like 10, 20,000. This is completely the other way. We didn't add anything. Now, The Nasdaq went up again. We had a few things. The ceasefire was wacky. There was a possibility that Iran was going to actually launch some strikes on Israel because of the strikes Israel made on Lebanon. But Pakistan saved the day. They came in and talked the Iranians off the ledge. So the ceasefire is still around, but it is going to be one of those interesting ones because it doesn't seem like based on going in based on the hardline positions. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. It seems like Trump just announced that he just found out. We all knew, but he just found out Iran is charging oil tankers $2 million. As a matter of fact, I just found what the part I just found out is $2 million to go in and $2 million to get out. So it's literally collecting about $4 million. That would estimate for them to bring their country around $96 billion a year. That's how, but then they're going to split it with Oman. So maybe I don't know if it's half and half or 60-40. Anyway, that is a lot of money. All right. Job numbers came out, was not very good. But still, the market is pushing up. Like I keep telling you guys, it seems like the narrative for the market has completely changed and focused on this geopolitical issue, which to me it is not. We already have had our own issues. I feel like the market is being, investors are being way too optimistic to my liking, and I don't like that. But again, the market can be irrational sometimes. I had a whole video about that, guys. The market can be irrational, so you just go with the current. Don't try to force yourself and say, hey, this market can't go up, so I'm going to keep shorting. I'm going. Now, when you find your spots, wherever it may go, you take your spot, you take your money, you want one for the hills. All right, that's the way we operate. That's the way we do it. Now, I have a couple of things to share with you guys. I clearly remember over the last couple of days, I talked to you guys about how Oracle was cutting jobs. So I want to show you guys the difference here, right? Let me zoom in case someone cannot see this headline because I want everyone to be able to see that. Look at that. What does that say? They they fired 30,000 people in DC for this. It was a non-profit surge. Now this is now reference surge. And hot sales will like nothing. Again, no matter what you do, is now I don't know this is where you go. I used to be there. I worked for certain companies where I didn't even wanna I didn't even want to go there. Waking up in the morning to go there was actually hard for me. But they're going to tell you this is this. No, you're not my family. This is the place that I come because you don't treat family that way. Not this is how hard those people work. Now, why am I showing you this? I want to show you guys something, right? So it's one thing if a company is struggling, right? The company is struggling, so they are not making much money. So you're like, okay, well, it makes sense. If they are not making much money, they want to cut costs. Now, this is what happened less than a week. I want you guys to understand that. This happened less less than a week after they fired all these people. They hired a new CFO with a $29 million package. $29 million. This is not a company that was struggling. All right. Again, they were making money head over fist. They were making money. They fired 30,000 people. Again, this is why I'm a big advocate. I keep telling you guys, hey, you know what? You need to find something. Whether you just watch the trading, my trading videos, you just come to on the chat, or you watch on replay, just to keep yourself abreast of what's going on in the stock market, but you're not active, but or that's not what you really want to do with your time. That's okay. What I want you guys to do is to find something. No matter, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying something's going to fall on your lap. Sometimes it might be, right? Some people get lucky, but not all of us are going to get lucky. You might have to work your butt off. You might have to sacrifice some sleep. Be ready to sacrifice something. That's the way nature works. What are you willing to sacrifice for you to get what you want? There's always a give and take. Either it's going to be time with your family, or it's going to be time with your friends, not going out, your social life, or it's going to be your sleep. There's always a cost to achieve great things. All right. Now, next thing I want to show you guys, Amazon. Amazon is cutting 14,000 jobs. Now you're asking yourself, why is Amazon cutting 14,000 jobs? Amazon making money here. You see all these Amazon trucks and whatever. They making money. They keep growing and this and that. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Once again, this is why I talk to you guys about these things. Now let's take a look at that right now. What exactly are you guys seeing with this? Amazon just announced a $25 billion data center expansion. They just laid off. I think over the past 3 to 6 months, they've laid off nearly 90,000 people. Nearly 90,000. They have laid off, but they have $25 billion to invest in the data center. All right. So this is again. I'll go through all this before I even go into the chart with you guys, just to remind you guys, like, hey, you know what's going on out there right now. You have to understand where we are. You have to get ready. You cannot wait until your number's up. When you receive that email, when you can get access to your email, or you go to work and your card's not working, or the company phone's not working, and you're trying to call, and then you receive a call from HR, or you receive an email from your personal email with address to send your stuff back. You don't want to wait for that. If it doesn't happen, if it never happens, guess what? You just make some extra money. Or maybe at some point you can walk away and have that freedom, right? But either way, find a way. Find a way. Trust me. Just working yourself to death, guys. Just working ourselves to death. Making sure we're doing overtime over. If you have to, you do what you have to do. I'm always going to tell you that. You do what you have to do in the moment to survive. But you got to have an escape plan. All right, you gotta have an escape plan. Again, they just laid off that many people, but they have $25 billion to invest in the data center. All right, now is the data center like crucial and necessary for right now? No, it's not. They doing that because they have a lot of cash on hands, so they reinvest that cash. That's all it is. Excuse me. Now let's go right into the chart, guys. I wanted to cover these things with you guys. Now we're going to drop right in the charts. All right. Let's go, guys. This is where we are. Lunel, that's right. Full that full POP, man. Let's go. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Today's was a little interesting to me. It it was an interesting day. I saw what happened. I did not expect for us to squeeze like that. But then again, I keep telling you guys, this is a market that literally has won by headlines. So the headlines pushed it up. We have a possible ceasefire conversation talk going on in Islamabad. Is it Saturday or tomorrow? So we have that going on. There's a lot of optimism there will be a permanent end to the war. So a lot of people are pretty much relying on that. So these are the trend lines that I had for you guys. We have broken both of these trend lines. As of right now, we should be able to squeeze up to this level, right? We should be able to do that. But as we dig in, I'm going to dig into the charts just to see exactly what is going on. Um, but the daily, again, When I looked again yesterday, I told you guys the daily was a little suspect from where it was. But if you're looking at the S&P 500, it was still green. The way it closed, the way it closed, it shows you there was some bias there. The way it closed. Again, we are. That's what still worries me. We are still in negative territory. Right. So this market is either going to want to make a new high if we get back in positive territory, right? You guys can see that here. For those of you guys that might be new here, so we this is negative territory. We might be able to do this. If we do that and curl back up, we are definitely going to make a new high. But as of right now, we are still in negative territory. All right. Is that what exactly is going on right now? This is just insane. What I'm looking at right now is this is a I mean that push, that move is just insane. And it's looking like tomorrow, at least on the daily, it looks like tomorrow is going to be another green day. On the daily. Now let's go in the 4 hour time frame and see how we're doing. And there you go. That's the like I told you guys when I was telling you guys a couple of days ago. We see the inverted head and shoulder pattern, but it was that it is something that you have to be careful about. But it actually did find a way to push through. Again, it's those headlines that help push it through. But it still did. So you have to respect that. But is that surprising? No, that is not surprising. It actually took the path of most resistance, but again, it didn't have to work its way to all this chop. It actually just the market just gapped up. It gapped up and ran. So the 4 hours right now still looking good in the 4 hours. We squeezing up. We actually this is actually now in positive territory, and you can see there's actually some volume coming in. There's higher volume coming in, so we're just going to have to wait and see exactly how things go. Let's check the 2 hour time frame. Oh my goodness, the 2 hours actually looking fantastic. The 2 hour time frame is looking great actually. Because why am I saying that looks great? Let me move that out the way a little bit. Why does that look great, guys? Let's take a look at this. So you can see the MACD. The MACD is positive. Now this is what we did in the 2 hour time frame. We actually pushed. So we did the bull flag. I was saying there's a possible bull flag yesterday. We pushed through it. We actually came back. Look what we did. We came back and retest the level right there. We came back and retest the level and we pushed higher. Now let's go into 30 minutes. 30 minutes is showing what? Let's see the MACD. The MACD is actually pointing down, which is interesting. By the way, that's one of those things I want you guys to be very, 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 very careful about. That is one of those things I want you guys to be very careful about. Because if you're taking a look at that, right here, what are we doing? Right there, we might be doing a double top. And if you look at the MACD, this is the highest point in the MACD, although we're making a new high. These are typically recipe for a drop, but hey, the MACD is pointing down and the stock keep ripping up, which is interesting. So we're having that divergence once again. So we just have to wait and see. We have to wait and see what happens. So it might give us a double top and push down, but the way it's looking right now, it's not looking bad at all. Look at that, pushed up, retest. So that's that break retest, which give us the bull flag. So that's saying we should be we most likely going to push higher. But at the same time, I do not want you guys to forget about the possible double top and the squeeze down. So what exactly are our levels tomorrow? So all in here, there's no trades in here. All right, let the market do whatever it wants to do right in here. These are the levels I'm going to watch. You know what? Let me just make sure I do that with something that's straight. I will be watching these levels right here. This is right at You know what? Let me switch to the SPY, guys. Sorry about that. Let me switch to the SPY. I know that was the SPX because the SPX is a lot cleaner. Let me switch to the SPY so I can give you. Actually, we already have the levels. We already have it. So we actually be getting rejected on the SPY. We're getting rejected at a resistance level. So this is our level for the move up, right? Just like yesterday. Why did I say yesterday, guys? I say, hey, we have to wait. We have to wait and see if we can get above this level. We should be good. And we get above that level, then look at that squeeze. We squeezed up. So again, that's going to be our level for tomorrow to watch. Whenever we go to that level, let's see how that reacts. And on the way down, if we go in the other way, this is probably what's going to happen. We have to watch this level, see what we did, because from here you should be able to try to capture again. If you're trading options, you don't need a $20 move or 40. If it happens, great. But if you're trading intraday and you know how to properly select your strike price, you should be able to make enough here. A $2 move should be enough for you. All right, a $2 move should be enough. Stop. I've seen people constantly do that. Stop chasing those $1.20 call options that with a 15 delta. You're not going to make any money intraday with those things. You barely. It's very very hard to make anything, even if the stock is going your way. It's very hard to make anything. All right. But what I'm looking at here again, this is my concern. Look at the MACD where it is right here. This high, we just made a new high. However, this is what we having. We having a much lower high in the MACD, so we having that bearish divergence. All right, so we having that bearish divergence. So, but then again, the type of market we in is going to drive all of that. That's the way it is, guys. Get used to it. That's just the way it is. Let me see if there's a trend line I can put around here to see what we might be doing here. Let me see. There you go. I'm going to use this as my trend line and that as the one at the bottom. There you go. So now we have in, by the way, we have in a rising wedge, and if you know, see when we were dropping, right? When we were dropping, at some point we bounce and we move up. When we're doing this, at some point, what we typically do is get rejected. That's typically how that happens. All right. So again, we're just gonna have to wait and see how things plays out with that. But this is the way the S&P 500 is currently looking right now. Let's take a quick look at the Qs. The Qs, I think, is the exact same thing we're getting in the Qs. It's the exact same pattern, exact same thing, which is it's interesting. It's fantastic. Just watching that, it is the exact same thing. Nothing changed. We don't even have to completely go over those levels because you guys can see it. Again, right now the Qs are getting to structural resistance. You guys see that resistance? How many times we tried taking that? We've been here before. How many times did we try to take that? We could never take it. Is that the time? The MACD saying probably not. That's what the MACD is saying. But again, those headlines, those headlines don't respect. They don't respect the charts. Unfortunately, guys, they don't respect support and resistance. They are being used as momentum to get pushed through those resistance to pierce them. Anyway, let's take a look at dead money. Dead money Bitcoin. Are you moving? Are you doing anything? Whoa, no, no, that's not Bitcoin. Come on. There you go. So Mr. Dead Money Bitcoin is actually back at resistance level once again. Now, what exactly is Bitcoin doing? It took the first level, that's the mini level, right? Which is good. Took the mini level. Now, this is where Bitcoin is right now. This is the trend line Bitcoin really needs to break. It's this one. All right. So we have a wedge pattern. Pretty soon, something's gonna happen. We either going to break up or we're going to break down. It will happen because right now that wedge is closing. That wedge is closing and it needs to make a move. Based on the MACD and the setup we are getting, let me see if you guys know. which setup this is. Let me see. Any advice for people just starting out, taking that leap into faith? Any advice? Learn the basics. You have to start with the basics. It is very hard to learn on your own. I'm going to be frank with that. I'm not saying that because I do teach people how to trade. I do have a course, and I'm not trying to recruit you to come taking my course. Although if you do, I would be happy to teach you, right? But why it's great to have some sort of structured learning is because there are so much. When you new, there are so much to learn. There are so many different strategies that's out there. If you're just doing it on YouTube, it becomes a trial and error. So you don't have somebody that can teach you something that you actually can master it. Because if you're learning something on YouTube, which you can, by the way, you absolutely can. But a lot of times it's like, okay, is it structured? Are you really learning these things the way you're supposed to learn them? Meaning, I'm tackling this subject, then I'm going to that subject, and so forth and so on. All these things are very, very important to do, right? Being able to learn things and just build. It's like math, right? When you're learning math, what do you learn first? You learn how to count. Then you learn addition and subtractions. Then they add multiplication, division. Then you start to get more into more advanced stuff like algebra and trigo, statistic, like things like that. So that's the way that works. So it's great to be able to have somebody that can gives you a roadmap and teach you a specific strategy. Now, that strategy may not work for you, but at least you'll have a specific strategy to start on. So that's one. You can either learn from somebody, that's one, and two, don't get impatient and jump in the market. I would say trade in a demo account. My absolute thing that I tell everyone I teach is trade in a demo account, and until you can trade for 1 month and be positive at least 50% of the days you trade in that month, you are not ready for the market. You are not ready for the market. 50%. I'm not saying you need to get some 90% or some or whatever. Trust me, 50% is high, but the reason I put it at 50, even for good traders, but the reason I put it at 50% is because the fact that it's a demo account, you don't have that psychological effect that comes with putting your real money at stake, where people are prone to make mistakes because emotionally you are heightened, you are a bit tense, you're not sure if you should do it here, if I should do it there. Oh, this is going to run without me, let me jump in. So all of that, you don't have all that emotion because it's paper money, right? So it's not real money, therefore you don't need that. So that's why I say 50%. Make sure you do that. And again, there's always a learning curve. Just because you're not profitable at the time, stick with it. Go small. Go small. Don't just say I'm gonna start trading today and put 25, 30, 50, 100K in an account and say you're gonna start trading. Because more often than not, you're going to blow your first account. So just put 1,000 in there. Put 1,500, especially if you're trading by yourself. If you have a total of 25K, for example, to open an account, just just put 2,500 in there. Guess what? If you blow that, you still have, 22,500 left. But you learned something. All right. So that's why I wanted to go with you guys on that one. Now let's go back and take a look at by the way, I hope I answered your question and what I said makes sense. If it doesn't, feel free to ask a follow up. Um, Mr. Deadman is doing what? You guys should be able to see that. This is a head and shoulder pattern that's being done, right? So it may squeeze, but then again, it's doing that right at the trend line. So can it actually take the trend line? I don't know. We have to wait and see. What I want to see on the move up, come on, take this, pull back, next leg up. This is what we want to see. All right. So, but you guys can clearly see it. We have our neckline, like I would say, like right around those areas, that's the neckline. But let's wait to see that moved up. But if you're looking at the MACD making a higher low and pushing up, that is also good. So you have a few things in your favor, and the volume is also coming in. So there's a few things in your favor with Bitcoin. But then again, I expected a lot more out of Bitcoin. The market is moving up as fast and as high as it's going, and Bitcoin is not really moving. And to me, that's a bit concerning. I'm sort of losing faith in Bitcoin right now. Let's go back to the VIX. The VIX looks like it's about to break. The VIX looks like it's about to break. Now, let's see. Can it reclaim tomorrow? Or can it confirm that move? Even though it's dropping like that, remember, principle, guys. What is the process, right? That's part of the process. We're going to need this to confirm that drop. That means we have one candle that closed below 1952, meaning tomorrow we need a candle that closed lower than this candle to confirm the move. If we don't have a candle that actually closed below that, that move has not been confirmed. Simple as that. The move has not been confirmed. We need a candle to close below. But, we actually lost the trend line. We've lost the trend line. So we'll see. But again, one thing I want you guys to remember, we had a big green day on Tuesday, right? A big green day on Tuesday. So so today we had an 85% chance of of a down day, of a reversal day, because the VIX had spiked like 19%, right? And then today, once again, the VIX also, not, well, not today, but the fact that it's 2 days, it's two consecutive trading sessions. So today did not happen. So tomorrow there's an 85% chance still tomorrow, because the reversal typically comes within the next two trading days. So we're just going to have to wait and see how things plays out. If I look at that in the 4 hour time frame, oh my goodness. Again, another thing I want you guys to keep remember, eventually that's the way the market plays it. All gaps eventually all gaps get filled. That's the way the market works. All gaps get filled. If you're looking at every single chart, you will see eventually all these things get resolved. Eventually it happens. All right. Going in the 2 hour, I mean the 4 hour. You can say the 4 hour has confirmed, but again, that's the 4 hours, so we can't just use that. If I go in the 2 hour time frame, that's confirming pushing down, but the daily has not. The daily has not. But hey, it did play out as far as the double top that we talked about in the 30 minutes, and we actually pushed down. So we just have to wait and see exactly how things are going to go. I want you guys to be careful, right? You guys need to be extremely careful tomorrow, because you guys need to remember we're going to have those talks. How exactly are they going to go? I already see a couple of posts that may start making me question this possible ceasefire, if that's ever going to happen. But you just never know. But at the same time, tomorrow, remember, we have an 85% chance of a reversal day. So you guys have to make sure that you're watching things right. Watch the levels. Again, when you don't be too greedy, don't be overly aggressive. It is still get in, get green, get out. This is what we're dealing with. Remember, we are at resistance level right now, and there's a possible double top forming. So don't get caught in that. Don't get caught in that. Just watch your levels, have your levels. Once you have your levels ready, you just sit back and wait and see how the market reacts. All right, just see how the market reacts. You don't have to do anything at specific levels. See what if it doesn't go to those levels. If it just stay right, if it just stay range bound, it's okay not to take a trade. You don't have to take a trade every single day. It is not necessary for you to take a trade every single day. So if you don't see something, don't take anything. Don't force it. All right. That being said, guys, that's about all I have for you guys to get here today. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys being here. If you are here once again, remember to smash the like button. I really appreciate you guys being here. Again, I want to remind you guys, you don't have to predict the market to win. Just you can just wait and react. All right, I understand being able to predict certain things. That's what separates certain, great traders and good traders. Being able to see the patterns being formed, identifying those patterns very early, so you can get in a little earlier. That way you catch some big winners, right? So but that's the trade-off. The trade-off in that is you are going to get some losses because you got in a little too early. But when they do work, as long as you hold, your risk reward ratio is so high, right? You make so much profit, it covers for all those losses. So what you're doing is you're sacrificing your winning percentage for bigger wins. That's the trade-off. All right, so you don't have to predict things. You don't have to whatever. Just like, hey, just like no one you could not have predicted oil was going to jump from $50 to as high as 117 or 120. Um, you could not have predicted that, right? But what you could have done, once you see the move, wait for a pullback, and then you get on, right? We don't get on moving trains. We only board the train at the station. It needs to pull at a station before we board, because if not, sometimes if you get in while things are running, right? When the pullback happen, the pen is so hard and so deep and so steep for you, you hop off where the train was supposed to stop for you to get on. Now a lot of people are getting on while you getting off, and then the train takes off. That's why we don't jump on moving trains. Right now, I'm not long the queues. I don't have any long calls, any leap calls on the SPY and on the queues right now. Why? Because I was playing the short side. I didn't know where the bottom was. I just waited. Now, what I want to wait and see is get up. Let's get a pullback. At some point, it's going to happen, right? A pullback is going to happen at some point. It would be foolish of me to buy yesterday after we won the way we did. It would be foolish for me once again for me to buy today as we squeezing up. No, I may day trade it, and whatever, but I don't take leaps like that. I need you to pull back to a support level, because that's what gives me that reassurance, right? I need you to pull back to a support level. All right, guys. I gotta go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for being here once again. If you did not do so, make sure to like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell, so that way whenever I go live, you can get those videos pop up for you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Again, tomorrow I must let you guys know it is still POP all day and every day. Process over profit. You follow the process, the profit will follow. And more importantly, don't be overly aggressive. Don't be too greedy. And I will tell you guys, it is get in, get green, get out. And one thing I wanted to do, last thing I want to do, I want to recommend a book for you guys. That's a book it's a really good book. It's a short book, very short book. I think it's a very good book. It's called As a Man Thinketh. Right? I don't have any code to give you. I'm not gonna make any money on that. I read that book. I read it many times. I just think it's a great book, and I wanted to share that with you guys as a book to read, as a recommendation. All right, it's a very short, very simple book. It is something to try to help you guys to fortify your mind and strengthen your mind. That's why I'm recommending that. That being said, guys, thank you for being here. Peace out. Have a good one. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the live at 9 p.m. Eastern time. For those of you guys who are part of the trading community, please be on Teams Live. I will be on right after this. Peace.